Canto One. I was the shadow of the waxwing slain by the false azure in the window pane. I was the smudge of ashen fluff, and I lived on, flew on, in the reflected sky. And from the inside, too, I'd duplicate myself, my lamp, an apple on a plate. Uncurtaining the night, I'd let dark glass hang all the furniture above the grass. And how delightful when a fall of snow covered my glimpse of lawn and reached up so as to make chair and bed exactly stand upon that snow out in that crystal land. Retake the falling snow, each drifting flake, shapeless and slow, unsteady and opaque, a dull dark white against a day's pale white, and abstract larks in the neutral light. And then the gradual and dual blue, as night unites the viewer in the view. And in the morning diamonds of frost express amazement, whose spurred feet have crossed from left to right the blank page of the road, reading from left to right in winter's code. A dot, an arrow pointing back, repeat, dot, arrow pointing back, a pheasant's feet. Torquated beauty, sublimated grouse, finding your china right behind my house. Was he in Sherlock Holmes, the fellow whose tracks pointed back when he reversed his shoes? All colors made me happy, even gray. My eyes were such that literally they took photographs whenever I'd permit, or with a silent shiver order it. Whatever in my field of vision dwelt, an indoor scene, hickory leaves, the svelte stilettos of a frozen stillicide, was printed on my eyelids neither side, where would tarry for an hour or two, and while this lasted all I had to do was close my eyes to reproduce the leaves, or indoor scene, or trophies of the eaves. I cannot understand why from the lake I could make out our front porch when I'd take Lake Road to school, whilst now, although no tree has intervened, I look but fail to see. Even the roof, maybe some quirk in space, has caused a fold or furrow to displace the fragile vista, the frame house between Goldsworth and Wordsmith on its square of green. I had a favored young shagbark there, with ample dark jade leaves and a black, spare, vermiculated trunk. The setting sun bronzed the black bark around which, like undone, garlands the shadows of the foliage fell. It is now stout and rough, it has done well. White butterflies turn lavender as they pass through its shade where it gently seems to sway. The phantom of my little daughter's swing. The house itself is much the same. One wing we've had revamped. There's the solarium. There's a picture window flanked with fancy chairs. TV's huge paperclip now shines instead of the stiff veins so often visited by the naive, the gauzy mockingbird, retelling all the programs she had heard, switching from chippo chippo to a clear tui tui, then rasping out, come here, come here, come here, flirting her tail aloft, or gracefully indulging in a soft, upward hop-flop, and instantly tui, returning to her perch, the new TV. I was an infant when my parents died. They both were ornithologists. I've tried so often to evoke them that today I have 1,000 parents. Sadly, they dissolve in their own virtues and recede, but certain words, chance words I hear or read, such as bad heart, always to him refer, and cancer of the pancreas to her. A preterist, one who collects cold nests. Here was my bedroom, now reserved for guests. here tucked away by the Canadian maid. I listened to the buzz downstairs and prayed for everybody to always be well. Uncles and aunts, the maid, her niece Adele, who'd seen the Pope, people in books, and God. I was brought up by dear bizarre Aunt Maud, a poet and a painter with a taste for realistic objects interlaced with grotesque growths and images of doom. She lived to hear the next babe cry. Her room we've kept intact, its trivia create a still life in her style, the paperweight of convex glass enclosing a lagoon, the verse book open at the index, moon, moonrise, more, moral, the forlorn guitar, the human skull, and from the local star, a curio, Red Sox beat Yanks, 5-4, on Chapman's homer, thumbtacked to the door. My God died young. Theolatry I found degrading and its premises unsound. No free man needs a God, but was I free? How fully I felt nature glued to me, and how my childish palate loved the taste, half fish, half honey, of that golden paste. My picture book was at an early age, the painted parchment papering our cage, mauve rings around the moon, blood orange sun, twinned iris, and that rare phenomenon, the iridiole when beautiful and strange, and a bright sky above a mountain range. One opal cloudlet in an oval form reflects the rainbow of a thunderstorm, which in a distant valley has been staged. We are most artistically caged. And there's the wall of sound, the nightly wall, raised by a trillion crickets in the fall, impenetrable, halfway up the hill. I'd pause in thrall of their delirious trill. That's Dr. Sutton's light, that's the Great Bear. 1,000 years ago, 5 minutes were equal to 40 ounces of fine sand. Outstare the stars, infinite foretime and infinite aftertime. Above your head, they close like giant wings, and you are dead. In regular vulgarian, I dare say, is happier he sees the Milky Way. Only when making water, then as now, I walked at my own risk, whipped by the bough, tripped by the stump, asthmatic, lame, and fat. I never bounced a ball or swung a bat. I was the shadow of the waxwing slain by feigned remoteness in the window pane. I had a brain, 5 senses, one unique, but otherwise I was a cloutish freak. In sleeping dreams I played with other chaps, but really envied nothing, save, perhaps, the miracle of a lemniscate left upon wet sand by nonchalantly deft bicycle tires, a thread of subtle pain, tugged at by playful death, released again, but always present, ran through me one day when I'd just turned 11, as I lay prone on the floor and watched a clockwork toy, a tin wheelbarrow pushed by a tin boy, bypass chair legs and stray beneath the bed. There was a sudden sunburst in my head, and then black night. That blackness was sublime. I felt distributed through space and time, one foot upon a mountain top, one hand under the pebbles of a panting strand, one ear in Italy, one eye in Spain, in caves my blood, and in the stars my brain. There were dull throbs in my Triassic green, optical spots in upper Pleistocene, an icy shiver down my age of stone, and all tomorrows in my funny bone. During one winter, every afternoon, I'd sink into that momentary swoon, and then it ceased. Its memory grew dim. My health improved. I even learned to swim, but like some little lad forced by a wench, with his pure tongue her abject thirst to quench, I was corrupted, terrified, allured, and though old Dr. Colt pronounced me cured, of what, he said, were merely growing pains, the wonder lingers, and the shame remains.